The silent approach. The discovery. The Kryn dominion had existed for 12,000 years. Their empire stretched across 4 spiral arms of the galaxy, encompassing 300 subjugated species. They were masters of biological warfare, genetic manipulation, and psychological control. Every world they conquered was remade in their image. Every species they encountered was catalogued, studied, and absorbed into their collective. They believed themselves to be the ultimate expression of evolution. They believed nothing could challenge their supremacy. Commander Zalthar stood in the observation chamber of the Harvester of Worlds, the flagship of the Kryn invasion fleet. His chitinous exoskeleton gleamed purple under the soft lights. 6 eyes on stalks moved independently, watching different screens at once. He had led 40 successful conquests in his 300-year career. This mission should have been simple. A newly discovered species called humans had just achieved faster than light travel. They had established colonies on 7 worlds in a single star system. By Kryn standards, they were infants. Primitive. Harmless. The invasion fleet consisted of 800 warships. Each vessel carried enough bioweapons to sterilize a continent. Each ship housed thousands of Kryn warriors bred specifically for conquest. The fleet had destroyed civilizations far more advanced than humanity. This should have been the easiest victory of Zalthar's career. He should have been bored. Instead, he felt something he had not experienced in centuries. He felt uneasy. The fleet had been approaching the human home system for 6 days. Standard procedure was to announce their arrival. The Kryn always gave new species a choice. Surrender and be absorbed peacefully, or resist and be crushed utterly. The message had been sent 3 days ago on every known frequency. Translated into every major language the humans used. The response should have come within hours. But there had been silence. Complete silence. The unexpected silence. Zalthar's communications officer, a younger Kryn named Velrix, turned from his station. His voice carried confusion. "Commander, we have received no response from the human worlds. No diplomatic contact. No military challenge. No civilian transmissions at all. It is as if they do not know we are here." "That is impossible," Zalthar said. "Our approach is not subtle. 800 ships cannot hide. They must see us." "Perhaps their detection systems are too primitive," Velrix suggested. "Perhaps they truly do not know we are coming." Zalthar considered this. The Kryn had encountered primitive species before. Some had been so technologically backward that they mistook the invasion fleet for gods or demons. But humans had faster than light travel. They had established multiple colonies. They had detected and mapped nearby star systems. They could not be that primitive. "Show me their worlds," Zalthar ordered. The main screen changed to display the human solar system. Earth, the home world, was a blue and green sphere covered mostly in water. 3 billion humans lived there. Mars had been partially terraformed and held 2 million colonists. Europa, a moon of Jupiter, housed underwater cities with another million people. 4 other colonies existed on various moons and asteroids. All told, humanity numbered just over 3 billion individuals. The screen showed normal activity. Ships moved between worlds. Communication signals bounced between planets. Lights glowed on the dark sides of colonized moons. Everything appeared completely ordinary. There was no panic. No mobilization. No defensive preparations at all. "They do not see us," Velrix said with certainty. "They continue their normal routines. They have no idea we are 4 days away." This made no sense to Zalthar. The Kryn fleet was massive. Their ships were enormous. Even primitive sensors should detect something. Unless, he thought, unless the humans were not looking. Perhaps they felt so safe in their little corner of space that they did not bother to watch for threats. The first warning signs. Increase sensor sweeps, Zalthar ordered. I want to know everything about human military capabilities before we arrive. The science officer worked for several minutes. Then she looked up with her stalks tilted in confusion. Commander, this is unusual. Humans appear to have almost no military presence in space. We detect fewer than 100 armed vessels in the entire system. Most are small patrol craft. They have no battle fleet. No orbital defense platforms. No weapon satellites. Zalthar felt his unease growing. This was too easy. Every species developed weapons. Every civilization built defenses. Even peaceful species maintained some form of protection. To have almost nothing was either extreme confidence or extreme foolishness. Perhaps both. What about their technology level, he asked. How advanced are they truly? The science officer consulted her screens. Their faster-than-light drives are crude but functional. Their weapons technology is approximately 800 years behind ours. They use primitive kinetic weapons and early-generation energy beams. Their computers are adequate but simple. Their ships have no biological components at all. Everything she said confirmed what Zalthar already knew. Humans were children playing with toys. The Kryn would sweep through their system in days. The conquest would be recorded as barely worth mentioning. Yet still, that feeling of unease remained. Something was wrong. He could not identify what, but something about this entire situation felt off. Commander, the sensor officer called out. I am detecting something unusual. What is it? There is a vessel at the edge of the system. It appeared suddenly. One moment our sensors showed empty space. The next moment this ship was there. Zalthar moved to the sensor display. A single small craft appeared on the screen. It was heading toward the fleet at incredible speed. Size, he demanded. The officer checked his instruments. Approximately 20 meters long. Very small. Crew complement unknown. Armament unknown. It does not match any human ship design in our database. In fact, it does not match any ship design we have ever encountered. The small craft continued its approach. It was moving far faster than any human ship should be able to move. Zalthar watched it close the distance to the fleet. In minutes, it would be among them. The impossible maneuver. Hail the vessel, Zalthar ordered. Transmitting on all frequencies, Commander. No response. The craft maintained its course directly toward the center of the formation. Zalthar made a decision. All ships prepare defensive positions. Do not fire unless I give the order. We do not know what this is. The fleet adjusted slightly. 800 massive warships shifted into a tighter formation. Weapons powered up. Shields activated. The small craft continued its approach without slowing. It was close enough now that visual sensors could see it clearly. The ship was unlike anything Zalthar had seen in 300 years. Its hull was smooth and dark. Its shape was organic in some ways, geometric in others. There were no obvious engines, no visible weapons, no windows or ports. It looked almost alive. It moved through space as if swimming through water. Graceful. Purposeful. Beautiful in a strange way. It reached the outer edge of the formation and did not slow down. Zalthar expected it to stop. To hail them. To explain itself. Instead, it did something impossible. The craft accelerated. Not gradually. Not with any visible thrust. One moment it was moving fast. The next moment it was moving faster than Zalthar's eyes could track. It shot into the formation like a beam of light. Alarms screamed across every ship. Captains shouted for evasive action. But there was no time. The craft moved between the massive warships with impossible precision. It passed within meters of hulls without touching them. It wove through the formation like thread through cloth. It was everywhere at once. Zalthar watched in shock as the small craft performed maneuvers that should have killed any crew inside. It turned at angles that should have torn the ship apart. It accelerated and decelerated in ways that violated every law of physics the Kryn understood. Most incredibly, it left no trail. No engine wash. No radiation signature. No distortion in spacetime. It moved as if gravity meant nothing to it. As if momentum was a suggestion rather than a law. Get a target lock, Zalthar ordered. Weapons officer, fire a warning shot. The dance of death. The weapons officer tried. His hands moved rapidly across his controls. But the craft would not stay still. Every time the targeting computer predicted where it would be, it was somewhere else. The system could not track it. The computer could not calculate its path. It was as if the craft knew what they would do before they did it. Warning shot fired, the officer finally announced. A beam of concentrated energy lanced out from the flagship. It was not meant to destroy, only to frighten. To show the craft that it was in danger. The craft dodged. It moved 300 kilometers in less than a second. The energy beam struck empty space. The craft continued its dance through the formation. 2 Kryn destroyers tried to intercept it. They were the Plague Bringer and the Gene Breaker. Both were veterans of dozens of battles. Their captains were skilled and ruthless. They approached from different directions, trying to trap the craft between them. The small vessel waited until they were close. Then it accelerated straight up relative to the formation plane. The 2 destroyers tried to follow. Their momentum carried them forward. They collided with a terrible crash of metal and fire. Zalthar watched his fleet fall into chaos. Ships scattered to avoid the craft. Others tried to pursue it. Some fired weapons at empty space where the craft had been milliseconds before. The perfect formation that had conquered hundreds of worlds dissolved into confusion in less than 3 minutes. And the craft had not fired a single weapon. It simply moved. Its movement alone was causing destruction. "What is that thing?" Velrix whispered. His voice shook with fear. "Where did it come from?" "Those are excellent questions," Zalthar said. His own voice was surprisingly calm. He was too shocked to feel fear yet. "Get me answers." The science officer worked frantically at her station. "Commander, I have analyzed the craft's movements. Based on acceleration patterns and turning radius, any biological crew inside should be dead. The forces involved would crush any living thing. Even our warriors could not survive those maneuvers." "Then it must be unmanned," Zalthar said. "A drone of some kind." But the officer was shaking her head. "Negative, Commander. I am detecting life signs. Faint but present. There is something alive inside that craft. Something that is surviving forces that should liquefy its organs." First contact protocol. The message. The small craft completed another impossible loop through the Kryn formation and came to a complete stop. It hung motionless in space exactly in the center of the fleet. 800 warships surrounded it like mountains around a pebble. Zalthar stared at it on his screen. His mind was racing. This was not random. This was not an accident. Whoever controlled that craft was sending a message. The message was simple and terrifying. "You cannot catch me. You cannot hit me. I can go wherever I want." Zalthar had never felt so powerless in his life. "Commander, we are receiving a transmission," Velrix announced. His stalks were pulled tight against his head in a defensive posture. "From the craft?" "Yes, Commander. Audio only. Human language. Our translators are working on it." "Put it through," Zalthar ordered. He straightened to his full height. Whatever came next, he would face it with the dignity of a Kryn commander. A voice filled the bridge. It was strange and alien, but the translator made it understandable. The tone was casual. Almost friendly. "Hello there. I see you folks have quite the impressive fleet. Name's Jackson Reed. Captain of the Wanderer. Mind telling me what you're doing in our neighborhood?" The bridge was silent. Every Kryn officer stared at the speakers as if they had malfunctioned. This was not how first contact worked. There should be formality. There should be fear. There should be recognition of Kryn's superiority. Instead, this human sounded like he was greeting a neighbor over a fence. Zalthar found his voice. "I am Commander Zalthar of the Kryn Dominion. You are speaking to the invasion fleet. We are here to conquer your species and absorb your worlds into our collective. You should be terrified." There was a pause. Then the human laughed. It was a genuine laugh. Not nervous or mocking. Just amused. "Invasion fleet? Really? Look, friend, I don't know what happened to make you folks so cranky, but invading Earth is probably not your best play today." Zalthar felt anger replace his shock. This primitive creature dared to laugh at him. Dared to call him friend. "Human Jackson Reed, you pilot a single tiny craft. We command 800 warships. We have conquered 300 species over 12,000 years. What makes you think you can stop us?" The warning. Another pause. When the human spoke again, his tone had changed. It was still friendly, but there was steel underneath now. A quiet confidence that made Zalthar's skin crawl. "Well, Commander, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I can stop your whole fleet. You've got a lot of ships. Big ones too. Very impressive. But here's the thing. I don't have to stop all of you. I just have to show you what one of us can do. Then you can multiply that by about 5 million and decide if invasion still sounds like a good idea." 5 million? Velrix looked at Zalthar with confusion. What does he mean? The human continued speaking. "See, I'm what humans call a test pilot. My job is to fly new ships and see what they can do. The Wanderer here is the newest design from our engineering corps. Took us about 40 years to build her. She's fast, as you might have noticed. But that's not her most interesting feature. The most interesting feature is that we have 5 million more just like her. Well, not exactly like her. Some are bigger. Some are meaner. But they all move like this one does." Zalthar felt cold spreading through his body. This was a lie. It had to be a lie. No species could build 5 million ships like this. The technology alone would take thousands of years to develop. The resources would bankrupt entire civilizations. It was impossible. "You are lying," Zalthar said. "Our scans of your system show fewer than 100 armed vessels. You do not have 5 million of anything." "Oh, those," Jackson Reed said cheerfully. "Those are the patrol boats. The ones we use for pirate suppression and asteroid mining security. The real fleet doesn't hang out in the home system. That would be silly. Too crowded. We keep them in deep space. Out where there's room to maneuver." "Show me proof," Zalthar demanded. "Show me this fleet of yours." "Can't do that, Commander. Military secret and all. But I'll tell you what. How about a little demonstration? I'll show you what just one Wanderer-class ship can do. Then you can run your numbers and make an informed decision about this whole invasion thing. What do you propose?" Zalthar asked carefully. "Pick your best ship," Jackson said. "Your fastest, toughest, most advanced warship. Have it try to hit me with everything it's got. I won't shoot back. I'll just dodge. If your ship can land even one hit on me, I'll personally escort you to Earth and help you negotiate a surrender. But if I dodge everything, you folks turn around and find someone else to bother. Deal?" The challenge. Zalthar considered the offer. It was absurd. It was insulting. It was beneath the dignity of the Kryn Dominion to negotiate with a single pilot in a single ship. But he was also a pragmatic commander. If this human truly could dodge everything his best ship could throw, then fighting 5 million such vessels would be suicide. Better to learn now than after losing the fleet. He made his decision. Agreed, Zalthar said. But I choose the terms. You will face 3 ships, not 1. Our fastest corvettes. They will attack simultaneously from different angles. If you can dodge all 3 for 10 minutes, we will withdraw. The human was quiet for a moment. Then he laughed again. 3 ships. 10 minutes. Commander, you drive a hard bargain. Alright, you're on. But let's make it interesting. If I can last the full 10 minutes, you folks don't just leave our system. You spread the word to every other empire out there. Tell them humans are off limits. Tell them we like our space and our independence. Tell them to find easier targets. Zalthar felt his anger rising again. You overestimate your abilities, human. When my ships tear your craft apart, you will regret your arrogance. Maybe so, Jackson said. His voice was calm and confident. Guess we'll find out. Ready when you are, Commander. Zalthar turned to his tactical officer. Deploy the Shadow Dancer, the Wind Blade, and the Death Whisper. 3 corvettes. Fastest ships in the fleet. I want that human vessel destroyed in 5 minutes. Not 10. 5. The tactical officer saluted and sent the orders. 3 sleek ships broke from the formation. Each was 200 meters long. Each carried enough firepower to level a city. Each was crewed by elite warriors who had never known defeat. They moved into position around the small human craft, forming a triangle. Ready to fire on your command, the tactical officer reported. Zalthar leaned forward in his command throne. Fire. The impossible dance. All 3 corvettes opened fire at once. Energy beams, plasma bolts, and kinetic rounds filled the space around the human craft. The volume of fire was incredible. The Kryn had calculated every angle. Every escape route. There was nowhere for the Wanderer to go. It should have been obliterated instantly. Instead, it moved. The craft shot forward toward the Shadow Dancer. The corvette's weapons tracked it, firing constantly. But the Wanderer was too fast. It closed the distance in a heartbeat and passed so close to the Shadow Dancer's hull that it actually touched it. Alarms screamed on the corvette. The Wanderer had scraped their shields. Then it was gone. It appeared behind the Wind Blade. The corvette spun, trying to bring weapons to bear. The Wanderer circled it 3 times in 2 seconds. The Wind Blade's gunners fired wildly. They hit nothing. The Wanderer dodged between the shots as if it could see the future. Then it accelerated straight up, moving faster than any Kryn ship could track. The Death Whisper tried to intercept. It fired a spread of missiles. Smart weapons that could track and adjust course. The Wanderer let the missiles get close. So close that the corvette's crew thought they had won. Then it twisted sideways in a maneuver that should have torn it apart. The missiles continued past, unable to turn sharply enough. They struck empty space and exploded harmlessly. Zalthar watched his finest ships chase the Wanderer through empty space. They fired constantly. Their weapons officers were skilled and experienced. Their targeting computers were the most advanced in the galaxy. None of it mattered. The Wanderer moved like it was alive. Like it could think and react faster than any computer. It anticipated every attack. It avoided every shot. It made the 3 corvettes look clumsy and slow. 5 minutes passed. Then 6. Then 7. The corvettes were starting to overheat. Their weapons needed to cool down. Their crews were exhausted from constant high alert. And they had not landed a single hit. 8 minutes. 9 minutes. The Wanderer continued its impossible dance. It moved between the three ships without effort. It accelerated and decelerated in ways that made no sense. It turned corners that should not exist in three-dimensional space. Zalthar realized something terrible. The human was playing with them. He was not even trying his hardest. He was showing off. Demonstrating. Making a point. 10 minutes passed. Stop firing, Zalthar ordered. Cease all attacks. Withdraw. The three corvettes fell back, their weapons going silent. The Wanderer came to rest in the center of the formation again. Exactly where it had started. The human's voice came through the speakers. So Commander, how'd I do? 10 minutes exactly. Not a scratch on my paint.